To understand how Journey to the West satirizes ancient Chinese political systems, we need to start with the origins of the story itself. Like many myths, Journey to the West evolved over time. The version we read today was written by Wu Cheng'an around 500 years ago, during the Mid-Ming dynasty. But this wasn't the first version of this story. Over 1,400 years ago, after Xunzang returned from his journey to Tianzhu, his disciples compiled the Great Tang records on the western regions, documenting everything he saw and experienced along the release of this book coincided with a surge in storytelling during the Tang dynasty. Over time, people began adding imaginative and mythological elements to the original plots. For the next 1,000 years, the story was continuously adapted and transformed, eventually becoming the Journey to the West we know today. Xunzang's journey, which started as a travelogue, evolved into a vibrant mythological tale, of course. This also gives us a fascinating glimpse into how ancient Chinese people viewed the world. Generally, we can't imagine things in literature that go beyond our own understanding. Think about it. If I'd never seen a phone, I couldn't possibly dream up a phone. So, among ancient Chinese fantasies about communication, there's nothing like smartphones. They either relied on animals they knew, like carrier pigeons, or exaggerated existing functions, like 1,000-mile voice transmission, basically super loud yelling. The point is, 1,000 years ago, there was no way for Chinese people to imagine modern communication tools. In other words, our imagination is limited by the prototypes we see in real life. Once you understand this, you'll see why Journey to the West is also a reflection of ancient Chinese political dynamics. In Journey to the West, what determines the status of gods and demons is their magical power, which has two parts. The first is their innate abilities, known as Dharma Body. If you've played Black Myth, Wukong, you can think of this as your character's stats and skills. The second part includes equipment, like magical orbs, which we can collectively call magical tools. Having magical power means a demon has status. Once their power reaches a certain level, they naturally ascend to become gods. High-ranking gods enjoy heavenly perks, like elixirs of life and immortal peaches, which boost their cultivation and, of course, extend their lifespans. This idea is also touched on in Nijia too. The Wuliang Zhanwang, for example, builds his faction and even monopolizes the path to ascension by crafting and controlling the supply of elixirs of life. So, what about the weaker demons? They have to leave to find alternative paths. That's why the rumor about Tang Sanzang's flesh-granting immortality is something they'd rather believe than dismiss. After all, the way to boost their power are monopolized by the higher-ups. This kind of situation was pretty common in ancient Chinese society too. The emperors and nobles of feudal dynasties enjoyed unimaginable wealth, while farmers toiled day after day, barely scraping by with enough to eat. The world of Journey to the West mirrors this. The Jade Emperor in heaven enjoys all the luxuries of the celestial realm: divine nectar, immortal peaches, dragon liver, and phoenix marrow. Meanwhile, his head of security, the curtain-raising general, who later becomes Tang Sanzang's third disciple, Xiao Wujing, has only ever seen these delicacies but never tasted them himself. In real life, when taxes became too high and farmers couldn't even secure basic food and shelter, they'd band together, overthrow the ruling regime, and establish a new dynasty. Then, they'd become the new rulers, exploiting other farmers in turn. This cycle repeated itself, shaping the entire history of feudal China. The same goes for Journey to the West. When ascetic Sun Wukong's former name found out that the gods were monopolizing these resources, he vowed to cultivate himself and seek the path to immortality. With the help of the mysterious Master Puti, he gained incredible skills. He forged his own path to eternal life, stormed the netherworld, and destroyed the Book of Life and Death, granting himself infinite lifespan. Then, he charged into heaven and devoured all the immortal peaches and elixirs of life. However, Sun Wukong's rebellion didn't break the cycle of tragedy. He was first defeated by the true Lord Erlang, also known as Erlang Shen, and then suppressed under a mountain by the Tathagata Buddha for 500 years. So, later on, even Sun Wukong couldn't help but feel conflicted when he saw the Guanyin Bodhisattva transform into a demon to trick other demons. He thought to himself, seriously, is she a bodhisattva or a demon? Guanyin explained, Wukong, the line between bodhisattva and demon is just a matter of perspective. If you're looking for a fundamental difference, there isn't one. That's right, emperors, generals, and ordinary people are fundamentally the same kind of beings. This reflects the Chinese people's down-to-earth view of the powerful and their understanding of social hierarchy. Besides, exploring the clever connections between Journey to the West and ancient Chinese perspectives, what other angles can we dive into? We'll pick up on that next time.